Here are 5 lessons I learned in my 30s. And babes, let me tell you, I feel like my 30s is when I had a lot of self-growth. So here we go. Number 1 is it's okay to begin again. In my 30s, I started basically my life all over again. I was single. I've said this before. I have 2 daughters. So I had them. I moved back with my parents because I broke up with the girl's father. And I didn't have a job, I didn't have a home. There were so many things that I didn't have, and I was 31. And that was when I decided, okay, my life feels like it has no direction. I'm really confused, lost, and all those feelings. I wanna say my early 30s were probably some of the lowest in my life, and I was really depressed. I decided to just put one foot in front of the other, led to me starting a new career. I got married, my life started changing, and I learned that by the time I was at the end of my 30s that it was okay to begin again. I just thought I was supposed to have it all figured out. That's not real. And so one of the biggest things I learned in my 30s is it's okay to begin again. You don't have to have it all figured out. And in fact, it was the best time of my life of self-discovery, and I wouldn't change my history for anything. Number 2 is love is conditional. I used to just think me being me was enough. I'm going to love to my heart burst. Everything's gonna be okay. That was my 20s. And let me tell you, that did not work out at all. In a relationship, love is give and take. Love is more than just how you feel about someone. It's how you show up for someone. It's in your actions. It's in your words. It's literally in everything. I was able to see that it's very important to hold people to certain standards and expectations of how you deserve and want to be treated. It was a very, very hard lesson that carried on into my 40s. So love is actually not unconditional in my book. You need to have some standards. It needs to have some checks and balance in there. Number 4 is credibility is non-negotiable. Kind of confusing to say this, but do you do what you say you're gonna do? So that's what I call credibility. It is holding others accountable when they say they are going to do something. And if it's not A+ in my book, then you can't be in my life. And I know that that sounds really harsh, but it was a hard lesson for me to learn. When I'm doing all the heavy lifting and then things don't follow through, it's kind of like, wait a minute. If you say you're gonna do something, simply do it. It's that easy. It's obviously okay for you to change your mind and so forth. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about telling someone one thing and completely doing another and it becoming a habitual thing. That means your credibility with me is, you know, like an F-. I cannot cut slack for that anymore in my life. And it was something I had to learn through my 20s. And certainly by the time I got my 30s, A+ or you're out. Number 5 is alone time is not selfish. I actually became a flight attendant working on a private jet, and it was the first time that I had ever been away from my daughters in their entire life. Consequently, that meant that I had to be alone, and I learned a lot about myself. Imagine not really knowing your likes and dislikes, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. It took me so long to learn that alone time is not selfish, it's necessary, it's healthy, it's a part of my wellness and self-care now, and I learned that all in my 30s. Okay, lovies, that is all I have right now. I was waiting to do my 30s because it was, for me, a very special time in life. I'm the kind of person that learns through experience and making mistakes. I'm really proud of the person and the woman that I became in my 30s. And anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I find these chats with you so special and so enlightening, diving back into my history and the things that I've lived. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, lovies.